So it's the year 2020. 30 or 40 years ago, people were predicting we'd be flying around in cars in the sky by now. It hasn't happened. Perhaps we're falling behind with progress. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to talk over, is the Olympus E3 still a good camera in the year 2020? This camera came out in 2007. The one before it was the E1, which I had the E1, 5 megapixels, cracking camera. I upgraded to the E3. The E1 came out in 2003. The E3 came out in 2007, right through till 2010, and then they brought out the E5, which had a few more features than the E3. This is about 10 megapixels. It's fully magnesium alloy body. I've got the battery grip on this one, as you can see. So with the battery grip, on the old E1 it was one big battery used to slide out the side there. On this one it's the same batteries that go in the actual camera body, but you have two, which are on charge at the moment, because I'm going to go out and take some test shots to show you. The E1 had a fixed screen on the back. The E3 has a pull-out, twisty screen. It's not huge compared to modern cameras. This is a mirror camera. I will take the lens off and show you. There is a mirror in there. Can you see it? And the sensor sits in the bottom. It's got optical view through the top. You can have live view on the back screen there, but it really slows the camera down having live view on. This is the 4/3 mount, not the micro 4/3, but the 4/3. It's the bigger version. Now, these cameras were aimed at professionals when they came out. So with a magnesium alloy body, it's weather sealed. This has got the pop-up flash, which the E1 didn't have, but there's no video function on this camera whatsoever. But it still takes cracking pictures. So the only reason I upgraded, the autofocus on it compared to modern day cameras is very slow. It's got, I can't remember any autofocus points in it, they're all selectable. It's quick enough for like street photography, landscape photography, that kind of thing. If you want to do any kind of action shots with it, forget it. It can't keep up. Just try and take pictures of the dogs out in the garden. It's a no-go. But for landscapes, street photography, all that kind of stuff, still, you know, it's adequate. It does the job. As I say, it's 10 megapixels, and that's about it really. You can check up all the specs online, but it is a professional camera. It's got all the buttons on it. So you've got like all your ISO buttons, your exposure, so you hold the button down and you turn the knob, one there, one there. With the grip, you've got the knobs on the grip as well, one up there and one on the front. You've got the shutter button. Obviously the grip doesn't come with the camera, it was optional. It takes compact flash cards in there. Press the button down, that pulls out. So it's these big old chunky things. That's an 8 gig card. I think an 8 gig is pretty much the most that these cameras will take. I think the E1 that I had would only take a 4 gig card. Any more than that and it couldn't work it. So this lens that I've got on here is the 14 to 54, 2.8 to 3.5. Now Olympus did like 3 ranges of lenses when they brought these cameras out. They had like the kit lens, which was I think the 14 to 42 and the 45 to 150. Then they did sort of like a professional range, which was these ones, which was the 14 to 54. I've just sold the telephoto. I had a 50 to 200, and I've got a 50mm macro lens. That's f.2, f2.0. I can't remember what the 50 to 200 was, but anyway. So I shall take photos with the 14 to 54, and we'll have a look on the computer and see what they come out like. It's not great for low light. if you're going to be taking shots at night time, I would suggest getting the ISO as low as you can, put it on a tripod, longer shutter speeds. That's another reason why I upgraded, because I was starting to do a bit of astrophotography, and the shutter speeds that I needed to get a good quality image, I was just getting star trails. So you can get low light photos with it, but it needs to be on a tripod with a really long shutter speed. Not ideal for astrophotography unless you've got a tracker, which I haven't got. But it's big, it's heavy, it fits your hand lovely. I mean, I've got big hands, but it's really it's a beast, basically. You can pick these up dirt cheap now, and they will take a fantastic picture. So we'll go outside, I'll get some shots, different focal lengths on the lens. This is 14 to 54. Now with the 4/3, and same as the micro 4/3, the size of the sensor and the crop factor, basically whatever lens you put on it doubles the focal length. So this is a 14 to 54, that would make it 28 to 108 mil. So it's quite a good focal length, obviously with a little lens hood on it as well. Makes you look very professional, doesn't it? So yeah, we'll take it outside, we'll take some shots. I'll take some shots at different ISOs and stuff like that, and we'll get them on the computer and we'll have a quick look, see what you think. Is it a camera that you would want in the year 2020? So what did you think to those images from the Olympus E3? They are pretty good, basically, for 10 megapixels. I know it's not a massive amount of megapixels, but they're quality megapixels. Good bit of glass on the front. You'll get some cracking pictures. You don't need to blow them up the size of a house, but for putting on social media or anything like that, they're spot on. You can print them off and they will be reasonable up to about A3. As I said before, it's got all the buttons on it. It's got a pop-up flash. It's got a hot shoe on the top should you want to put an external flash on it. It's got sync ports, a shutter release port. It's got a DC in thingy. It's got a USB and a video out. That's just so you can put your... there you go. So so you can bring your pictures up on the telly. I don't know if anyone ever does that anymore. And that's pretty much it. The card slot, it's compact flash, but there's also another slot in there. I think that's those Olympus XD cards, which I have got one, but I've never used it. Compact flash, it's been reliable. That'll do for me. What can I say? It's been a cracking camera. I am selling it. I've already sold one lens. I'll be selling the other lenses and the camera as well. I'm just not using it. I've got the Sony A7 II, which that's not even a current camera. That's 5 or 6 years old now, but that is a full frame camera. It takes cracking photos. That's not outdated. This one slightly is. If I was not doing moving subjects or trying to get into astrophotography, I would still be using this, but things move on. So yeah, I thoroughly recommend these cameras, even the E1. I've never used the E5. The E5 has got some additional functions. The E5 can do video in 720p, which nowadays it's a little bit backwards, but there you go. If it's not shooting HD or 4K, it's people tend to overlook them. But for a stills camera, spot on. Well recommended. So that's pretty much it for this video, and we'll catch you in the next one.